Hello, everyone. Good evening. Rose here. Tonight, I want to introduce all of you to someone who's not Foodie Beauty, a lovely older woman by the name of Miss Ann Winifred Parks. I've known about Miss Parks for a while. I enjoy her content. She's an older woman and she gets on camera and she's lovely and she speaks with a great deal of logic and sense. And lately, Foodie Beauty has been going after Miss Parks, picking on Miss Parks, referring to her as a mummy and insulting her, age shaming her. You know what, Miss Parks? I love your content so much, and the fact that you're on YouTube speaking from a place of logic, life experience, and sense. I'm just going to react to your video and give my thoughts with you, if that's okay. So let me just go ahead and share the screen so you guys can see and hear what I do. So there's Miss Parks. But before we get into her video about Foodie, this is Foodie Beauty's community post where she is attempting to shame Miss Parks. She says, "Happy Halloween. No, I don't feel bad. This mummy is a bully and calls me a sow while she eats tea and crumpets." So Foodie Beauty is not only shaming Miss Parks for her age, or at least trying to throw shade and shame her for her age. Because Miss Parks happens to be British, she's also classifying her with tea and crumpets. You know, like, I don't know what Miss Winifred Parks eats, but I'm sure it's more than tea and crumpets. But even if she does eat tea and crumpets, so what? Tea and crumpets are lovely. What's wrong with eating tea and crumpets? I'm sure that tea and crumpets taste a lot better than Nashies or Twisty Misties. Anyway, Miss Parks had a lot of great things to say about Foodie and her escapades lately. So let me just go ahead and get started with this react to Miss Parks. And I will leave a link for her video and her channel in description. And I encourage everyone to check out Tea and Sass, Miss Ann Winifred Parks. So let's get to.
Why does it matter to me what Foodie Beauty does, the lies she tells, the fact that she's making fools of people? Why does it matter to me? I guess it matters to me because it insults people's integrity and therefore it insults my integrity. This woman, this obnoxious, disgusting sow would have us believe that within 2 days of meeting a man, I'll rephrase, within 2 days of speaking to a man over the internet, she's become a changed character to the point where she's wearing a hijab.
I'm sorry to stop you, Miss Parks. You said a key word there, ma'am. You said character. That's a good word to use with Foodie. What she's doing is playing a character. She's playing a role like you would in theater. Just putting on a role, a persona that is not her, and she's play acting. What she's doing is not who she really is. And the evidence of her not being authentic or genuine or true or sincere to herself is in the fact that wearing a hijab, it's not her. She's not studied up on the Middle East. She's not studied up on the culture, the people, uh, the, the belief system. She's not read the Quran, nothing. She's just putting on the hijab. I feel she's doing it for shock value, for drama, for her channel, for attention. Her intentions of wearing the hijab are not sincere. She's also made mention that she's wearing a hijab because she's essentially hiding how much weight she's gaining. And that helps to cover her face and around her neck area and around her chin area. But right now, she's playing a role. She's playing a character, you know, and depending on the guy that she's with, that shapes her character. For instance, when she was around Natter, because Natter didn't like the cats, she didn't like the cats. If he liked drugs, she liked drugs. She's so lacking an identity that she takes on the identity and the likes and the dislikes of whoever she's with. That's how lacking an identity she is. She can't say, well, I like this and this is who I am. I don't think she knows who she is, and I don't think she's interested to learn. I think she just drifts from guy to guy, looking for love and looking for a sense of identity that she herself doesn't have. And in order to be accepted around a guy or to talk to a guy, she will immediately absorb herself into that man and become them as much as possible just to ensure that that man keeps talking to her for at least a little while.
where she's preaching about Islam. What do you know about the 5 pillars of Islam, Chantal? What do you know about zakat, which means that you should be giving a percentage of what you earn to charity? What do you know about?
She did give money to charity. The charity had a name, it was called Natter. She does give to charity. It just, the men are her charity.
Salah, not the Salah who you're going to marry, apparently, but Salah meaning prayer. 5 times a day that you go to prayer.
You know, I find it interesting that when it got found out that Salah has a very active Tinder account and he was sending messages and little hearts and roses to other women, rather than Chantal being grateful and happy that she was talking to a potential scammer and a liar, and maybe somebody that was telling her, oh, yeah, we're in a relationship. We don't know exactly what conversations happened between herself and Salah, if there were any conversations at all. But the way she's been talking and saying everything's serious, instead of her finding out before she goes to Kuwait, before she goes anywhere to meet this guy, it's being outed that he's on Tinder with an active account, instead of being grateful that other people are finding this out for her so that potentially she does not get in too deep of a hole. She got angry at people yelling and screaming about privacy, or the privacy of my loved ones. Isn't that something? You know, attacking people for finding out information that could have potentially saved her from a disaster. But no, let's attack those people, not at the person who's potentially lying to you and leading you on.
Are you going to be able to cope with that? With all the washing and cleansing of yourself before you pray? You're a woman who will go a week, 2 weeks without showering, without changing your clothes.
Oh, you mean like that lounge suit that she's had on for the last 4 days? The brown one that looks like a potato sack, that one? The one she just bought? It seems to be a pattern with Chantal that if she buys a new outfit, she will wear it until it literally stands up by itself. She won't take it off. You would think that Chantal only has one outfit the way she wears her clothes. But you're right. She doesn't shower, she doesn't bathe, and yet she wants a relationship. Well, most people in relationships, they at least ask that their partner be clean and not have offensive body odor. And Chantal is in her disgusting home, in a room surrounded by trash, rotting food, and swearing that it doesn't smell. There's no way that you can be surrounded by garbage and not smell from the garbage and also not bathing. There's just no possible way.
Who sits on camera and burps and farts and messes her pants.
Yep, that too.
And talks about skid marks and talks about the men she's sleeping with. It's less than 2 weeks since you were sleeping with that married man, that Turkish man, and you didn't care. You said his wife wasn't in this country, therefore.
Let's also not forget she was talking about the married man and trying to justify it because the wife was allegedly in another country and it was an arranged marriage and they don't love each other. But on top of that, Chantal was talking about being passed around from one guy to another, and also talked about potentially trolling construction sites looking for guys. So before Sala, that was going on. But now suddenly she's wildly, madly in love with a guy who's got an active Tinder account and talking to other women.
He should be free to do as he likes. That people who watch don't know what his situation is. It was an arranged marriage. He doesn't love her. This is less than 2 weeks ago. And you were going to the house there, there's a whole crowd of immigrant men
Mm-hmm.
who you were hinting at you were more than friendly with. And then, within 2 days of meeting Salah, which means prayer, you've become this changed woman. But you haven't, have you?
Nope.
Because you're still raging.
Yep.
You still sent a nasty email to YouTube
Mm-hmm.
about channels that you want removed because they
Copyright
dare
strike.
to react to your channel. Reaction channels are a thing.
She hasn't changed a bit. I'm sorry to cut you off, Miss Parks. She's still throwing the copyright strikes like she once did. She's still binging on the food like she always did. She's still getting high like she always has. She's still raging like she always has. There's nothing different about Foodie except her clothes. Everything else is the same. And she said something in her video today. She said, "It's still me. It's still me." So she's still the same person. And I am all for anybody changing their life if it means the change is good. But I have yet to see Foodie have a moment, a real wake up moment, where she realizes that she's got to do something for herself. It's always been about what can I change on camera to get more views and to get more money. It's all about what topic can I bring to the conversation, what shock, what drama, what irritation can I cause people. You know, Chantal likes to say all the time, I just want to bees. Bees is her cute word for doing bad, indulging in her addictions. So when she says, I just want to bees, what she's actually saying is, I just want to indulge in my addictions. She's at the point with all of her addictions, Miss Parks, that the addictions have taken over. They consume her life. That's all she cares to do is anything regarding her addictions. Addictions, they're like jealous, possessive mistresses that want all of your attention, all of your time, all of your money. They're always in your face. And the more you feed them, the more you give them, the more they want. Notice all of her major money goes for her addictions. The men, the drugs, the food, everything else about her life is in a state of ruin and neglect. That's because she's surrounded by her addictions and all of her time is spent filling up the addictions and satisfying those jealous, possessive, money hungry mistresses, making them happy. She cares about nothing else. And it's going to take something huge for her to break free of all of that, because she doesn't just have one addiction, she's got several. Attention is her number one addiction. It's always been her number one addiction, followed by food, drugs, men. Anything she likes eventually becomes an addiction and an obsession. If there was one word to describe Chantal, it would be obsession. Chasing obsessions, having obsessions, fulfilling those obsessions, chasing the dragon, more or less.
People are entitled to react.
Yep, true.
You've stopped all the comments on every video that you've got left, that is. So nobody can tell you how they feel. The only way for people to tell you how they feel is via people like me or like reaction channels that allows comments to be made.
Do you know why she does that, Miss Parks? See, Foodie is stupid in a lot of respects, but she's not stupid when it comes to money. She turns off the comments because what she's trying to do is force people to join up on her VIP chat and pay the $5 membership. And then after paying the membership, send a super chat. She wants people to pay money to express their hate and their displeasure with her. She doesn't want to give people any avenue to say what they want to say for free. She's trying to force people into a corner of, if you want to be angry with me and you want to express it to me, you have to pay me first. And even if you pay me, I'm still not going to listen, but I will get the money regardless. That's what she's doing. She puts everything behind a paywall on purpose because she's greedy, because she wants to force people to pay to express their hate. She's completely flipped the whole super chat thing on its head. Where on normal channels, people get super chats because they entertain people, they make them happy, and they get positive reinforcement for being entertaining. Chantal goes backwards. She gets people riled up, she gets them angry, gets them so angry that they just have to let that anger out. And so they send her super chats to express their anger, although anything that anybody has to say to Foodie, it doesn't matter. She's never going to learn. She's not going to change. She's not going to see a super chat and say, oh my God, you're right. I'm an awful person. No, she's going to continue to do what she normally does. And in her head, she's smirking, getting those hate super chats because she's making money. She's making money off of making people angry. And that's why she does it. That's why she's got the comments off, trying to put everything behind a paywall and not allowing anybody any avenue to express themselves free of charge.
And of course, you're all over it, aren't you? You're in my last comment section. You read everything that's said about you. You watch everything that's said about you, that depicts you. And I can't even say depicts you in the worst light, because your light is dark. Your light is very, very dim. The energy that surrounds you is toxic. It almost stinks. It's that toxic. You say that Islam, and you're talking about Islam and you're wearing the hijab, Peter's let slip that you don't wear it, you only wear it when you're on camera. And I believe that.
So do
I
I.
believe you're sharing a house with somebody that you're not in a relationship with physically, that you're not married to, and that you're certainly not related to. That's haram, regardless of how good a friend he may be. It's haram. But Peter's a good little boy, isn't he? He runs round after you, fetches your food from the front door when it's delivered, cleans up your mess when you've been vomiting all over the place, brings you water. And now he's saying he's got a job. You hinted, or you said actually, in one of your videos, which may have been deleted now, that it was probably a good idea to employ him and pay him as your runaround, I guess, which he's doing now, except he doesn't run around outside. This is a 40-year-old man who doesn't go outside, who runs around after you, cleans up your vomits, and goodness knows what else. Comes onto his YouTube channel and rages and swears and tells people to let off because he's so angry.
Well, you know what? Can anybody imagine living in that house for just a week amongst the garbage and the rotting food and the bad vibes everywhere? That would make anybody angry, living in an environment like that. There's just sadness and anger and frustration everywhere. It's a negative environment. And here's something for Foodie. Like attracts like. If you're destructive, if you're toxic, if you're dark, if you're in a self-destructive mode, you will attract the same energy. You'll attract the same energy people, same energy environment, same energy everything. Like attracts like. When you improve yourself and improve your energy, you will attract different people. You'll have different feelings. But Foodie is not interested in true change. She's interested in having that dark energy. And is it any wonder that she ran into Natter and she was attracted to Natter, because he also has very, very dark, self-destructive, self-indulgent energy. You know, like attracts like, two magnets.
His aura also is very dark. To be in your house, I wouldn't want to be in your house. It must be so oppressive with all that dark energy, all that negativity, regardless of how you come on and you say about you're so in love. You're very, 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 very happy with a man that you've only ever had contact with on YouTube. Is it true? Is it true that what people are saying now, it's transactional? Well, yes, it is transactional. Everything with you is transactional.
True.
But it depends, doesn't it, on what this transaction is. Meeting this man has coincided with you moving into that house, new house, which you call a mansion, a big 4-bedroom house with just you and Pete.
Yeah, like I've been asking the question, why would two people need a 4-bedroom place? One room for Foodie, one room for Pete's if he goes. What about the other 2 rooms? What are they going to be used for? Because it sounds to me like if you get a 4-bedroom place, and Foodie has made mention that if she gets the place, which is up in the air, nobody knows for sure, And there's been no mention of her moving in the longest. She's made mention of if she gets the place, that she will sublet out to other people. So who are the other people that are going to be moving in? Is it S-Jam? Is it Natter and Dee Dee? Kind of sounds like it. But she's already got roommates planned. Maybe she might be subletting out to them, and that's how she's going to be able to afford the really expensive rent. Couple that with the fact that she was over there asking Pete if he got a job and when he's going to get paid. It honestly sounds like she wants to move into a house and the other people in the house give her rent money of some sort. But why do two people need a 4-bedroom place? I'm going to put this theory out there. I think Foodie is living in a fantasy world, Miss Parks. I think that everything we've heard about recently, they are fantasies of Foodie. She wants to live in a nice big house, so we have that fantasy. She wants to have an attractive boyfriend, so there's that fantasy too. So she's got two different storylines going on at the same time. Problem is, they clash. They don't make sense. How would someone like Foodie Beauty get into a nice big house? Most homeowners, they check your credit, they check your finances before they rent to you, and hers does not look good. And how would she be able to afford a mansion, a 4-bedroom place, and at the same time be planning to move to Kuwait, which would be an expensive venture all by itself? I mean, you got to pick one or the other. You can't do both, especially with limited income. It's all about reason and logic here. And neither situation sounds logical or makes any sense, but Foodie doesn't like mirrors of any kind. Have you noticed that, Miss Park? She doesn't like mirrors. Not actual, just actual physical mirrors. She doesn't like anything that resembles a mirror. Anything or reality would be staring her in the face. That's why she doesn't like the reaction channels, because they are, in their own way, a mirror. They hold up the mirror in front of her, all of her bad deeds, all of her misbehaving. They hold up the mirror and say, this is what you've done wrong. This is you acting the fool. She doesn't like it. She doesn't like reality. She doesn't like anything that resembles reality or a mirror. And so, just as she hates physical mirrors and she avoids them, she has a hatred for the reaction channels too. Because in each of those mirrors, there's a piece of truth. And she doesn't want to deal with it. She runs as fast as she can away from each and every piece.
So you're getting cheap. So you're getting for nothing, really. Because they're saying that you can put the rent money that you pay them over 2 years towards your down payment. So you're going to be living there for nothing. They're going to have a vet coming in to look after their cats, look after your cats too. A housekeeper coming in to clean up your mess, which you need. You're living there for nothing. And you're having all these benefits. So what is it that you are giving? Because everything's transactional. What is it that you are giving in order for you to have this mansion and all those benefits? What is it that you are giving to Mr. Sala, who happens to be along at the same time as you found this house? A house where the agent is Kuwaiti and Salah is a Syrian living in Kuwait. He's going to be on a fixed contract. He's going to be leaving, having to leave Kuwait at some point. And I'm inclined to think that he doesn't really want to go back to Syria. Who would? With what's going on? Who would? But he's met you now, and you're going to get married. And you're moving into this house where the agent is Kuwaiter. And you're not really having to pay for it because every penny that you fork out is going to go towards your deposit. You're getting all these things. And as I say, what is it that you've got to offer?
You know, Miss Parks, when it comes to Foodie, everything she does is transactional. She's not a true giving person. She's not truly sincere. She doesn't give to be generous. She gives for purpose, and the purpose is always self-serving. She's one of those women that if she puts on a dress, she does her hair, she takes a shower, she's expecting something physical to happen. Has to happen. Like her attitude is, I got all dressed up, I better be getting some booty. When she was doing everything for Natter, she was doing it with purpose because she wanted to have control of him. She tried to use her money and the fact that she knew more about YouTube to try to control him. With Foodie, she says she wants love, but truly it's about need. If we're going to use the right word, it's about need. She wants the man to need her because if a man needs her, then he can't get rid of her. Her plan is to trap somebody with her to where they can't escape, like she tried with Natter. She tried to rope him in, acting all generous. Let me help you. I'll set up a channel for you. I'll introduce my audience to you. She was trying to set up a web of need. Because when somebody loves you, that means they have the choice to either be there or not be there. And they can leave whenever they want. She doesn't want the other person to have a choice. And then if they try to leave, she's going to punish them. She's going to humiliate them. She's going to smear their reputation on YouTube or across the internet. She's a wrathful, vengeful, evil person. And I'm not saying Natter is a good guy. I'm just saying this is how she works. She's like a spider in her web, just weaving her web. And anybody that gets caught in it, she wants to stay caught. She's going to wrap them up in silk to where they can't get away. And the silk that she uses is her money. Look at me, I've got YouTube money. I can buy you clothes. I can buy you groceries. I can take you where you want to go. Putting forth the image of, I'm a generous person. No. Every single thing she does for someone, she uses that as leverage to hold over their head, to try to control them and to become abusive and throw it in their face. That's Foodie. So her pursuit for love isn't really love. It's just looking for someone that she can control and claim. She wants to be claimed. That's what she says. She wants to be claimed, but really it's about having somebody in her life that can't leave her, is trapped with her, can't escape, because she knows how offensive she is. She knows how awful she is, and yet she won't change. For someone who claims to want love so badly, she won't do the necessaries to be the kind of woman that a man would want to be with. But with Foodie, it's all about control. Always has been, always will be.
A £500 woman with the most disgusting manners I've ever come across in my life. The most repulsive personality I've ever come across in a woman. What is it that you are giving? What's your part of the transaction? What's your part to have that house where the agent is Kuwaiti and all the benefits? To have a ring on your finger from a Syrian man who now for 2 days who lives in Kuwait. What are you offering? Well, there's only one thing, isn't there? And that's if you get married, he's going to want you to sponsor him, I would imagine, for Canadian citizenship.
Yep. That was my thought also, Miss Parks. Because if somebody is applying for citizenship, the couple has to be together for at least 2 to 3 years. And I know this because I was married for 5 years to someone who applied for a green card, my ex-husband. And we were together for 3 or 4 years before he finally applied. But if you apply for citizenship right away after marriage, it looks suspicious. But whether you are with somebody and you apply for citizenship right away, or you wait a few years, Foodie will at least be able to say she's got someone for at least a few years. Somebody's trapped with her for 2 or 3 years before they can finally leave. So I'm wondering if she's trying to trap somebody into marriage using citizenship. You know, she's got a man that can't get away from her.
Is that your part of the transaction?
That's what I'm wondering.
It sounds so it might be. It might be. But who knows with you? Everything could go bottoms up. Things usually do go bottoms up. You lie. One thing we know about you that we can say definitively is that you lie.
Yes.
About everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the love of your life, who you were saying months ago, who you stalked for over a year, and you were both playing people on YouTube, making $20,000 a month, some months.
Yes, ma'am.
The love of your life, nada. The abuser, the dom, the very bad cook, an even worse human being. He's gone very quiet the past couple of weeks. In fact, since you found this mansion and since you've become engaged, it sounds like, if the Syrian man is going to pay your ticket at any time, the ticket's there for you to go over and he's going to put a ring on your finger. So you must be engaged, mustn't you? And all of this has coincided, all of this that's happening that makes you very, 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 very happy. And so enough. It's all coincided with Nader al-Sham again. A1.
Yeah, and everybody's wondering, is Sala a cover for Nader? Is Sala actually Nader? Is there a Sala to begin with? Could the profiles on Tinder and whatever else, is that the actual person, or is somebody using somebody else's pictures? Is Nader in charge of the Sala account? Because I wouldn't put it past Foodie. She did say once upon a time in a live stream, she said outright, I am addicted to this man, meaning Nader. By making that statement out loud, she handed Nader 100% of her power. She said, here, just take it. It's yours. You have complete control over me. She said, I am addicted to this man. And we see, watching her, that she's never dealt with any of her addictions. They're still raging and out of control. So doesn't that also mean that the addiction to Natter is also out of control? So this Sala, is it actually Natter? Did they talk behind the scenes? And did he tell her, look, if you want me in your life, you have to make these changes. There's no negotiation here. And did maybe she say yes? What's interesting, Miss Parks, is that when she did a haul recently, she showed off a pair of blue shoes, like princess heels, which she did not model for the audience. She modeled all of the other outfits, but not the shoes, along with a fairy dress with flowers or feathers all over it. She didn't model that either. And she called the shoes Cinderella slippers. And the dress, she said, it almost looks like a wedding dress. And she winked at the camera. But she didn't put it on. So why did she do that? Why did she show off the dress and the shoes, but she's never modeled them for the audience? But the other outfits were okay. Is she going to marry Natter in secret for whatever reason? I think Chantal is still pursuing Natter, and she'll never stop pursuing Natter. Even if he's in jail, she'll always be there for him because Chantal has spent a lot of time with Natter. She spent a lot of money on Natter, and Foodie is not one of those people that she's going to spend all that time and spend all that money and come out with nothing. She wants something in return for all that time and money spent. She'll stay at the poker table and she will gamble every chip. And even if she gets one chip back, to her, that's a victory. And I feel that's why she's still pursuing Natter. Even if she loses her channel and her audience, it doesn't matter because at least with Natter, she's won. But in the next 2 weeks, when she's supposed to move out, in 2 weeks, we'll know what's going on. Because we know Foodie. She can't keep her mouth shut. She can't keep a secret to herself. And if she gets married, we're going to know about it because she won't be able to keep that to herself. And then everything will be revealed. So that's it for my react to Miss WINIFRED Parks. And I hope you guys check out her channel. I'm going to leave a link for her video in the description. I encourage everyone to go over there and check out Miss Parks. She's got a lovely assortment of videos, and she's very straightforward and sensible. And can I just say, Chantal, you are shameful for trying to shame Miss Parks. The shade that she threw at you in her comment was legendary. I salute you, Miss Parks, for throwing that classy, mature woman's shade so eloquently, and for being the person that you are, for being a wonderful person that you are. You're much more of a woman than Chantal could ever be. So that's it for my react. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Don't forget to go over to Miss Parks and say hi. And take care, everybody. Bye-bye.